Good day, I am Mikel Galdones, and for my fifth laboratory exercise in data communications and networking tool, I have created this network topology in Cisco Packet Tracer in order to demonstrate our lesson for today's video, or the lesson for this week in our respective course, which is all about configuring static routes, or basically all about routing. And because it is about routing, I have already done my due diligence outside before I started filming this video. And as you can see, I have um, encoded my initial configurations for each router in the system, which it turns out there are three routers that are present in this system or network over here. And with that, all we need to do is to continue this configuration starting right now with the first router over here, whose IP routing we will now type in the configuration commands. So let us do just that. Alright. Route. Hmm. And now that we have completed our configuration of our static routing, it is now time for us to verify and validate if it was indeed successful. So to do that, um, we will have to enter the show running config and the show IP route commands on our CLI interfaces of our respective routers in order to um, do this verification. So let's do it right now. Alright, so our second router or the leftmost router in our network over here, this one meets the required coding or the required symbols for our verification process in our static routing. So with that being said, let us now go to our first router of our network over here. IP. And after a little bit of tinkering and foolproofing and a little bit of rechecking on my part and correction on with regards to my errors, router 1 has shown the expected output. And finally, we will now um, verify our third router. And as we can see over here, router 3 also shows the expected output. So for our final task in this, or our second to the last task in this laboratory exercise, we are now going to configure the summary static routes of our three routers. So to do that, we will follow these steps of removing the static routes given in the previous step a while ago by um, typing these codes over here or these commands which I will now do on the third route. And as we can see over here, after removing our IP routes and summarizing them with this specific one over here, which replaces the 1, 2, and 3 with 0, we get the expected outcome that was outlined in our module with the other symbols in our code over here. The other S's, or meaning the statics, being removed in favor of this summary that we can see. And now it is time for us to finally move on to the last step of or the last task in our laboratory module, which is to configure default static routes, particularly for our router 2 and um, router 3. So let us do just that right now. And as we can see over here, our expected outputs have been met, with our static route being rewritten as a default route in the format of 0.0.0.0/010 via this gateway, or via this IP address. And that is also the same situation for router 3. And well, that sums it up for our laboratory exercise number 5 in Cisco Packet Tracer in our course Data Communications and Networking 2. So I will just save this configuration for both routers in order for me to be able to, you know, pass this document in the submission box properly with the complete data. And with that being said, thank you for watching this demonstration. I hope you learned a lot about this, about how to configure the static routes in the routing process or in a network with multiple routers. And I hope you enjoy your day. Goodbye.